Okay, I wanted to make another little quick video about what we actually found with the issue with the hex beam. If you see this little piece right here, you can still see the outline. You can still see the outline of the ring terminal that was soldered onto the driven element wire for the 20 meter band on my hex beam. And this side over here that's burnt off is the spacer cord that goes between the end of the driven element and the starting edge of the reflector. And there that end of it is. And then right over here is the other end of it. And this piece of cord was Kevlar, so you can still see some of the Kevlar fibers hanging out the end of it that didn't get burned off. But here's what I come up to replace it with. This end over here would be the wire from the driven element. And then it's kind of hard to do with one hand here, but I got it where I can open it up. I've got a crimp-on butt connector here on the end of it, and then some coax seal stuffed on the back side of it. And I've checked this using a TV flyback at about 40,000 volts, and I can't get any arc or spark out of this itself without being inside anything. And then my idea was that you take this, put this inside a little piece of this is 1/2 inch CPVC pipe, glue all this together, and then that's what you have up in the air. You got an air gap in between there, and then the one that's up there right now has got a lot of material on this side over here, and I even poured some epoxy in it to make sure that water doesn't creep up inside this rope and get in there and cause trouble over. But one thing that I did find was, if you look at most of the manufacturers of the Hexbeam antennas, they'll tell you that ice and rain and all this stuff doesn't affect the SWR of this cable. Well, it's not cable. That's either parachute cord, paracord, Dacron, Dyneema, or in this case Kevlar, which I thought had from the specs that I saw, had the best dielectric capabilities. But I guess there's the proof of it. I guess maybe not so much. I honestly think this is a fix for the problem. And this little piece right here, you know, with the hex beam, it's real important to maintain the symmetry of the elements, the distance between the elements, and that the elements are all nice and flat. That weighs 25 grams without the wire in the end of it. So 25 grams, I could show you outside the antenna itself, and I'll post a picture of it maybe later, of this on the hot side of the dipole. But I think it's a fix for it. I think it's something they should have done all along. And one thing I did notice is, if you take this piece of cord and you soak it in water and then put a meter, you know, in high range ohms from one spot of that cable to another, you get a conductivity. You know, so if you put 1,000 watts in this wire right here, this is what you're going to get. You know, the people that I talked to said this was a one-time, one in a million shot that caused the corona right there at the end that burnt that cable in two. But I'll tell you what, I don't think so. The nice folks at G4, G4TXQ or G4GIO. I talked to the fellow on the phone and he knew all about it, and they've got some sort of insulator that they use in theirs. But you know, my Hexbeam's mounted on a tower. It's really hard to get to, and hopefully that it's going to last till I can get something else up there. 73s, hope this helps somebody. If you'd install this before you put the antenna up, you're going to be money ahead. 73s N9HZX.